I'm delighted that we're having a discussion here today, Minister, in relation to fisheries, a long-awaited discussion, and I appreciate and thank our leader, Matty McGrath, for pushing that at the business meeting on several occasions and eventually getting his way to have this debate. It's a very important debate at a very difficult time for Irish fisheries. And, you know, I've been pushing very hard here in recent times to get more debates here. And I mean, in fairness, you know, you were saying earlier that there isn't many people here. Everybody took up their slots, bar Labour. So, like, in fairness, there is a bit of interest out there in fishing, and that's very important. But there needs to be a further and a stronger focus, and that's where we haven't had our focuses on recently. And I pushed recently in the order of business to bring to discuss about the ramming incident, or the near ramming incident off of Castletown Bare Waters of a Spanish trawler 3 times the size of an Irish trawler, and I was voted down. And the problem is, they're saying, you know, it went up on social media by TD in West Cork saying that, you know, this is the wrong way to do business. I don't care how we get a debate on fishing inside here, as long as we debate it and continuously debate it and iron out the crisis that it has at the moment. And I make no apology to any TD here, and I make no apology to any minister, and I make no apology to a Taoiseach for raising these issues. And that Taoiseach is furious with me, even so much so to try and mislead it all last week on several occasions, which is an issue that's been dealt with through the Crown Court's office. But I make no apology, as I said, to put the fishermen first in this country at every opportunity. And if the business committee, unfortunately, is governed by the government because they have more numbers in there, won't allow the time, I'll bring it through here in the order of business, and I'll push these Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael TDs to either press the button for yes for the fishermen or no for the fishermen, and we see how they react. And I go back over to 12 months' performance, and Minister, a lot of the issues that are that has led to the crisis that we're in today preceded your time as Minister. And I want to make that sure that it's not me versus you in any way, shape or form. I'm furious with successive governments here have left the Irish fishermen hang out to dry. Hang out to dry. Not Minister McConnell-Óg. You were unfortunately left with a complete and utter mess, the legacy of other ministers. But it is a mess. And during the whole reason why fisheries is at the bottom of the barrel in this country is because we are afraid to mention it, we're afraid to bring it up, we're afraid, our governments are afraid to fight the corner for the ordinary Irish fishermen. In the negotiations for government, I was involved in them in 2016. I brought up a senior minister for fisheries. In 2020, I was involved in discussions with Micheál Martin, Leo Varadkar, and Eamon Ryan. And the one thing I asked, there was actually 2 Bantry hospitals, a very, very important issue, but the other issue was a red liner. You will not get my support unless you have a senior minister for fisheries. They refused me point blank, and now we have the complete and utter evidence of their inaction and the way they've left the fishermen down. And have left this country, basically the fishermen in tatters. Taoiseach, Micheál Martin, we had 5 ministers. Look at the performance in the past 12 months. 5 ministers for agriculture and marine. 5 ministers to deal with issues. So when Micheál Martin took over for a few weeks, what's the first thing he did? Signed the penalty points into place. A completely flawed system. A terrible infliction on the Irish fishermen in this country, where he should have stood up for them and refused to sign it until it was rectified, the issues that had to be rectified in there, but he didn't. We had a Brexit deal, Minister, a Brexit deal that we failed to negotiate. I pleaded inside here with Thomas de Varadkar, with the Taoiseach, Micheál Martin, go in there and fight for our rights in there. And we, the Irish minister, should be negotiating in there, not Michel Barnier, because Michel Barnier did a deal. But he didn't do a deal for the Irish. He did a deal for the French and every other country. And Ireland was hung out to dry because we had no negotiator inside around the table at very, very crucial times, Minister. We've gone from one crisis to another crisis in that 12 months. I look at the weighing crisis. The SFPA, everybody's asking questions in here. Nobody has answers. The SFPA are an authority of their own. An authority of their own. They can come in, they can mislead us. They did it inside in the Agriculture and Marine Committee, because I was there. And you told me afterwards that they knew, and he knew, that there was a weighing crisis in December. Why was it that the fishing industry wasn't told about this weighing crisis until April 2016, April 16, 2021? At 5 o'clock, they were informed of a massive crisis. This is shocking to think that they had been before us at the committee telling us that they knew they deal with the industry, they work well with the industry. They didn't work with the industry, they never told them. And they could have been working towards a solution from December until April, but nothing was done, and now we have a crisis. It's shocking to say the least. And the funny thing is now we find out that the Department of Marine and SFB have made an agreement that French and Belgian vessels can land fish straight into the back of lorries in Irish ports. They do not have to be sampled, weighed or checked. This is astonishing, Minister. Good God, why are we giving the rights to foreign vessels in our country against the rights of the Irishmen? Imagine an Irish fisherman being pushed and tugged and put every rule down on top of him in this impossible weighing situation, and he can look across and see a Spanish trawler park up. They're laughing their bellies at us, filling their lorries and heading away. Do you know, can you answer me, Minister, do you know what quotas are they bringing in? Do you know the amount of Irish fish they have on their boats? Have you any idea what they're doing? Because this claims here quite clearly that they're coming in here straight, no searching of their boats, no looking at what they have, no weighing, no problems, just drive on, lads, because ye have rights, but the Irishman have no rights in his own water. I'm just saying that, you know, I've very little time here. I could take about an hour with the issues. Minister, I raised here the issue about the ramming incident by a near ramming incident of a Spanish trawler, 3 times the size of a Castletown Bear trawler. There's a whole amount of questions, and I want nearly a special meeting in the Agriculture and Marine Committee to resolve this, because the SFPA leaves a lot of questions here to be desired, and the Navy weren't able to attend, and that's through no fault of their own, because they probably are under-resourced. The problem here is, and I've only a few seconds left, is that what I can't understand is why was there no protection of the Irish fishermen on that day? It took 12 hours to get out there to protect them. Imagine if it was rammed, what would have happened? And all I'd say is about the peaceful protest in Cork recently. Well done to the South West Fishermen's Co-op, and the peaceful protest here next Wednesday, and I'll fully support them. Thank you very much.